彼方のフォーリズム。
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to TheBlueShifting. Welcome to the channel. There's a good chance a lot of you are here for the first time, and then of course to all of you wonderful folks who have been here for a while, welcome. This has been a long time coming. Aokana has been on my radar since probably around the time I started Muv-Love, which is basically back when I started everything. It's just never come around, you know, it's had some close calls, it's been voted on a few times by the community, it's just never quite got there. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, but Blue, you said this wasn't going to be played, it was Chaos Child that won the last vote against this. There was a lot that happened. If you want to know, I'm going to be talking about that at the very end of this video, but I'm going to be focusing right now on just enjoying this first episode. But if you want to know, you can either skip to the end or you can just join me when we get there, and I'll kind of give you like the kind of breakdown of what's going on and a bit of a glimpse of what's going to be happening after we finish this. But for now, Aokana it is. Now, I don't know everything about this game. I know I had an anime. I know it's a sports and it has something to do with flying. So that sounds cool, right? Like that's already making me think like this will be like Japanese Quidditch. I don't know. It sounds really fun though, and it's got such like a rabid fan base. I'm sure I'll love it. Basically, every time I've had a game recommended on the same levels of this, like Rewrite, Fruit of Grisaia, I've fallen in love with them. So I'm quite excited to be able to play this game. It's also, my gosh, it's gonna be nice to play a romance again. It's been a while. I mean, I've gone down the rabbit hole of the horror genre of visual novels, which is perfectly fine. I do enjoy those a lot, but it's nice to be able to just be like, yeah, what, we're just gonna have a good time. It'll probably have its emotional, crushing moments, sure, but I'm looking forward to this. Now, I will also say this, I do intend to and have installed the restoration patch. I'll be playing this game in its original form. It means it will have scenes that we likely will have to skip, because YouTube. I also will have to invoke the coconuts of censorship occasionally, I'm sure, and that's okay. I want the game to be in the format it was released in. I want to see how it was when the creators had full control. It's not to say it's bad to have a censored game. I mean, I have to censor it myself, so obviously it's not all getting on there. But I'm going to be able to experience the full game, and I'll be able to talk about it, because that's the idea. I think it's important for me to see the game as it was intended to be viewed by the original creator. That means a lot to me. Now, some people might debate here or there, hem and haw, maybe they'll talk about like, oh, it got the sealed blessing and all that, but I don't really care. I want to see what it was when it caught the imagination and spirit of the people who first pioneered visual novels, especially when they had to get these translated either themselves or as a community. So I'm going to jump into it like that. But yeah, I don't want to go on too long. It's already long enough, and I probably lost most people, but you have to understand, I come at these games with a passion. I love them for what they are. I'm not cracking stupid jokes. I'm not trying to like find a way to like make something amusing or like kind of get really like try and point out like just like inconsistencies in the story. I'm here to be immersed in the story, and I'm going to share that journey with you all. So thank you so much. I'm going to go tweak the settings a little bit, make sure everything's like as good as it can get, but of course if you hear something that the audio sounds weird, if there's something going on, like if you let me know, that'll help me correct for the rest of the episode. So I'd really appreciate it if you gave me a heads up about anything, but most importantly, if you got nothing else to say, maybe you could just say something about like the fact that we're starting to do this, maybe finally, or maybe like, you fool, what have you done, you know, anything, just let me know. Anyway, give me a sec, we'll be right back. All right, here we are. Aokana, it is time. Let's jump right in for the first time. Oh, it tells you the name of the soundtrack. That's cool.
そろそろ行かなきゃ。
Oh.
ああ、じゃあ元気で。
Oh, is it gonna be the classic, like, mysterious, like, one of the girls is a childhood friend, but we might not know who it is at first?
おい、泣くなよ。さっき言ったろ、そういうのはなしだって。でもしょうがないな。ちょっと待ってて。え？ほら、これ。
Oh, what is it?
これ何？
She doesn't even know either.
俺が大切にしてるやつ。
Also, I should test real quick. Okay, spacebar. It makes the UI go away. That'll be important to know. All right.
これいいの？
Aw.
そうだよ。これがあればどこにでも飛んでいけるんだ。宇宙飛んでいける。だからこの先、お前が一人でどうしようもなくなったら、
Oh, wait, hang on. Let me see real quick. How's the music?
その時はこれをギュッとしてお願いしろ。空に向かってな。
I think the music's still really loud. Hang on. Can I get back to the menu? Oh, wait, there it is. Okay. Making adjustments as I go, but I just realized that the music was really loud in proportion to the voices, so hopefully this is better. Let's see.
空に向かってお願い。
Yeah, I think it's better.
そしたら飛んでってやるから。で、助けてやる。
I think the biggest risk right now would be that the music is too quiet for the voices, so like, let me know if that is the case.
本当に？ああ、絶対にだ。なんせ空はどこへだってつながってるからな。ありがとう。じゃあ、これ大切にする。はあ、じゃあな。
And with that, he changed a life forever. When I was a kid, I thought myself invincible. I was certain I could become whatever I wanted, go wherever I pleased, and always come out on top regardless of the opponent. I could see a world of infinite possibilities spread out before me wherever I wanted. All I had to do was reach my hand out toward the sky. I feel like part of me wants to say like, oh yeah, I bet a lot of kids, most kids feel that, but I definitely didn't. My childhood, I always felt like I was incapable of doing things. In fact, I tended not to try because I always assumed I would fail. It wasn't until I was in like my junior year, I had a lot of really crazy, like tumultuous, like family stuff happen that kind of shook my foundation. And eventually I kind of just woke up from all that and realized, you know what? I can just do what I want. And so I just started trying. And I was surprised that I actually was better at stuff than I anticipated. I went from like normal classes to the AP classes and my grades went up. They didn't go down. It wasn't like I was definitely not the best in the class by no means, but I was actually trying and I was actually pushing myself. I made friends I never thought I would make friends with. I went on more dates than I thought I could. I was willing to like take that chance and ask people out, and it worked. Not always, but it worked. Fell in love, like truly fell in love. Like there's one thing about like going on dates and like maybe like dating people, but there's that first time you know you're like, yeah, I was in love. That was love. And I think it all comes down to that idea of like coming out of that funk. I feel like he's going to have a reverse where he feels like he can do anything, but I'm guessing that that's going to change. In the summer of my 3rd year of elementary school. My goodness, man. You're making life-based decisions on this? Aw, look at that. I acquired wings that let me soar through the sky. Is that what the technology is? Boots that lets you fly. Okay. That looks cool. Dude, can you imagine? Can you imagine being able to put something on your feet and be able to fly through the air? That'd be amazing. Is this our older sister? And with that, I've made it to those parts of the sky my hand couldn't reach. I eagerly dashed forward, gliding through the air, advancing further and further. And then I was like, is that our dad? Or something? And then like a sister maybe? Aw, look at that. Back then, I had no doubts in my mind. I was sure there was no one who could reach the same heights as me. With these, I can go anywhere. I can be the first to travel beyond the sky. Sounds like you want to be an astronaut like I did. I sincerely believe that. Oh boy. So it gets pretty real here, huh? And as a result, I lost all faith in myself and my beliefs were overturned. Yeah, that's okay. So he had the reverse. I never believed in myself until I grew into it. He always believed in himself until he was shown he wasn't like the best, and it devastated him. It all happened because someone appeared in the space I thought my own. In that moment, the place beyond the sky that I dreamed of reaching disappeared from my mind. I no longer had any right to lay claim to the sky. The blue, the world that I envisioned beyond the sky was taken from me. That's the thing, though, it's like, you only think that. You were a kid. There's no way it actually was taken from you. I desperately reached out with my hand, but when I opened my hand, nothing was there. And so I turned my back on the sky. That's already depressing. Aokana. 4 rhythms across the blue. Episode 1. Teach me how to fly. Man, teach me, bro. I want to fly. Is that me? I'm charging down the road to school at full speed. I can't afford to be late. Damn. Hope I can still make it. I put my phone on my pocket to quickly check the time. 8:10. Man, I'm cutting it real close. The clock is ticking down to my doom and fast. And so I stow away the harbinger of apocalypse and bolt forward as fast as I can. Dang it, that's all because I had that dream again. Whenever I feel out of it or when I'm tired, I always see the same dream. A scenery drawn in sepia. It was a blurry world that made me think I was viewing the scene with an odd filter. If all those dreams did would let me see the girl I liked as a kid, then that would have been fine. Too bad that wasn't the case. Kept running down the road and eventually I come across a strange sight. Huh? What's that girl doing? I spot a single girl crawling around on all fours on the side of the road. Okay, I'm gonna pause real quick here because I want to say something about dreams. I've talked about this before. I'm blessed to be a very, very visual person. Most of the things I have, even when I'm thinking about like words I'm saying or like trying to like form sentences, it's all big pictures for me. There's no like text or voice in my head. It's just images. But the nice thing about having a brain that thinks like that is that I have the most incredibly vivid dreams. Like I have dreams that are not only full technicolor, they have full immersion, they have temperature sensing, they have like I have vertigo if I fall. It's incredible. And it also means I tend to have semi-lucid dreams and lucid dreams where I can be in a dream and I'm like following the rules of the dream, but I can recognize it's a dream. So if it ever gets really intense or like scary or whatever, like when it would normally become a nightmare, I can just kind of nope out of it and jump to something else. I can't control everything, but I can usually be like, nope, let's do something else, and it'll just reshuffle everything. Sometimes I have the true lucid dreams, so I say about twice a year where I just kind of do whatever I want. I can just control the dream. It's so much fun. But even then, the dreams I do have, when I remember them, they're always incredibly vivid. It's so cool. You should be jealous because it's amazing. I can't imagine, but apparently for a lot of people, even their dreams, they tend to have that kind of like a film about them or feel very like odd. Like in the dream, you don't really recognize them. As soon as you wake up, you're like, oh, that was strange. Most of my dreams feel so real. I sometimes have had moments where I wake up and I'm wondering like if it actually happened. Like usually not, because there's usually something crazy in there. But like I've had dreams that are basically mimicking life before, and that's been really trippy. All right, anyway, I spot a single girl crawling on all fours on the side of the road. You lost your key? I understand, but yeah, I guess I was gonna say like, can't you go where you're going and then worry about this later? But I was like, no, if you dropped your key, like you should find it now. She's cheerfully monologuing such specific things to herself that makes me wonder if she's doing it on purpose. Anyway, based on what I overheard, she seems to be in a lot of trouble, so why does she sound so happy? I feel like I always say this, but I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. I wonder if it's a voice actor I've come across before or not. But I feel like I say that and like 90% of the time it's not the case. I will call out to her, talk to her, or worry about her. Call out to her and be like, sounds like I'm running past saying like, hey, good luck. And that sounds lame. Worry about her? I mean, that's probably the most realistic one, but still like, that's lame too, because it's just like, oh, well, that sucks to be her. No, should talk to her. Probably should try and help her. You know, there's one thing about a lot of fairy tales tend to have in common. In them, the hero always extends a helping hand out to the girl in need, even if that means having to fight a dragon or save the world. Also, no idea how the game works mechanically. I will say this, I always do a blind ending first. I'm probably going to play 2 endings of this game. I'll get a feel for it and tell you for sure. But whatever the first ending is, it's going to be blind. I'm not going to look at any guides. I don't want to see any spoilers. I'm just going to follow my heart, and we're going to see where it takes us. Alright, so yeah, but anyway, yeah, like, I would talk to her. I'd probably try and help her find the key, even if it made me late. I mean, I don't know if the teachers would accept it, but I'd be like, hey, I have a good reason. What's wrong? And so, in my attempt to live up to those standards, I approached the girl and called out to her. Alright, I've cheated a bit. I know you look familiar, and you have the double ahoge. Like, you must be a super airhead. Overpowering. Yep, hi. The girl rises from her crawling position and snaps to attention as she responds to me.
なんでしょうか?
Wow, we're having apparently a moment here. The moment I see her face, my breath gets caught in my throat. She's standing there, wide-eyed and inquisitive look on her face. She's cute, like really, really cute. I mean, that's, to be fair, he's right. Her voice makes me return to my senses. Oh, well, seemed like you could use a hand, so I thought I'd offer to help. I already know what's going on thanks to the detailed explanation I overheard moments ago, so I simply offer my assistance. Looks like I confused her. Maybe I should have stayed out of this? Oh, sorry, I'm not trying to intrude or anything, I swear. If you don't need any help, just... The music is very, like, jumpy. But yeah, sure. Whoa! The girl suddenly leaps in front of me, grasps my hands, and shakes it up and down vigorously.
やっぱり島の人ですね。親切ですね。九州は人情の国やけん、心配せんでよかよって、おばさんが言ってた通りでした。
Kyushu. Man, that sounds fun. I would love to live on an island or live close to the sea. That's like a dream of mine. This might make a decent thumbnail. She's very cute. But so far I'm gonna say, like, not the most impressed so far on initial reactions because she's coming across as a very airheady person. Which is fine. It's a great character trope, but it doesn't win a lot of like, ooh, I like this character points usually. Sure.
九州男児って言うんですかね。なんかこういうの憧れます。かっこ。
She must be pretty easy to impress if me offering to help her has her this excited, but more importantly, hey, look.
はい、なんでしょう。
Your hands?
はい。
At that point, she finally shifts her gaze over to her hands. And when she does, her face flushes red instantly. Aww. She rips her hands away from mine and bows her head a few times.
ごめんなさい。私たら今日初めて会って名前も知らない人の手を握ったりして、もうとてもすみません。
Another good contender for a thumbnail. It's fun. After she finishes talking, the girl stands there with her head still bowed and eventually claps her own cheeks. Is that supposed to be some kind of punishment?
もうなんで私こういう時に勢い余ってやってしまうんだろう。
Look, you really don't have to apologize. Besides, shouldn't we take care of your problem first? Her expression changes from one of mild shock as I change the topic.
そうでした。ですね。とても個人的なことで申し訳ないのですが、私落としちゃいまして。
Yeah, we're on that page already. Girl tries to explain her predicament to me through a combination of words and gestures. Bam! I spot a silver object glittering in the sunlight roughly a meter behind her. It wouldn't happen to be...
落としたものは自宅の...
Before the girl can finish her sentence, I pass by her, pick up the silver object. Your house key, right? Does it look like this? I hold out a plain silver key in front of her eyes. Oh boy. Bless your heart, child. The girl raises her voice and wraps both her hands around the key, which is still in my hand.
これです。家の鍵です。すごいです。どうやって見つけたんですか？それに、なんでなくしたのが鍵だって分かったんですか？
I mean, it's her endearing point so far, the fact that she's very touchy-feely, which is like an unusual thing for a lot of people, especially in Japan, but like still, like so far that's like the best bonus point she's got besides being just like adorable, but like it's also like just happened to see it out of the corner of my eye. It's not really amazing or anything.
そんな謙遜なんかしないでください。ありがとうございます。恩人です。
Seems like she's asking for my name. My name is Masaya Hinata. I just live around the corner. I'm a sophomore at Kunahama Academy. Nice to meet you.
ひなたさんですね。ありがとうございます。私、倉科アスカと言います。
Asuka. Okay.
明日から私も久那浜学院に通うんです。今日は手続きをしに行くところで。
Well, we can go together. Ah, cool. Nice to meet you, Kurashina-san.
Hi.
Kurashina-san replies cheerfully. And as the saying goes, the good deed is its own reward. I get the feeling I'm forgetting something important here. And before I manage to remember, a loud ringing sound resounds through the air. Shoot. Kuroshina-san is startled by my loud cry. Now I'm really running late. Oh, you're starting today, yeah?
通うのは明日からなので、そこまできっちりじゃなくてもいいとは思うんですが、ダメでしょうか?
Yeah, but you should probably run with me too. I see. Guess you don't know about Miss Kagami. Aoi Kagami. She's good at all kinds of sports and drop dead gorgeous, but is also considered to be the scariest teacher at Kunahama Academy. She's the school's PE teacher and my homeroom teacher, but she's also the guidance counselor, which is why she's out at the gate. That's why she's out at the gate waiting to see if any students arrive late.
そうなんですか?
That includes you. Since she's a real strict person, saying you aren't attending class today won't cut it.
厳格な方なんですね.
And if you're ever late when she's on duty, a dreadful punishment awaits you.
罰ですか?
Yep, she makes us use all of her connections to dig up embarrassing secrets from your past, any diaries you've kept, funny pictures you took, or cringeworthy videos that would be revealed to the entire class. Who is this demon? That's like Yuko Sensei levels of crazy from like Mub Love if you haven't played that, which you should. Everyone should read Mub Love.
それは人としてやってはいけないことです.
Right? That's why we can't afford to be late. I confirmed the time by glancing at my phone. 8:25. 5 minutes! If we run, we won't make it in time. Honestly, I wanted to avoid using this as much as possible, but no choice. I'll make an exception today. I whispered that while looking up at the sky. All right, let's take off. Let's take off from over there. I say as I pointed at a nearby terminal.
そこからって何もないですけど、飛行機でも来るんですか?
Oh, is the flying shoe thing not a common thing? Like, she's acting like she's never heard of it before. Kuroshina-san tilts her head to the side in confusion as she stares at the terminal. A plane? Oh, right, you're not from around these parts. Yeah, she's a transfer student. Know anything about grav shoes?
グラッシュですか?
Yeah, anti-graviton shoes. Since you're wearing our school uniform, you should have gotten a lecture on how these shoes work.
あ、これのことですか? 大体のことは聞いてますが.
Right. Kuroshina-san replied without while pointing at the school's shoes. Yeah, those. You got a rundown. If you got a rundown, I guess I don't need to explain. You can take them out for a spin, yet?
まだないですけど、一体何を?
Girl, they're called anti-grav shoes, and A, you don't seem to understand what that means, and B, you didn't try them yet? I understand maybe being nervous, right? You get me a pair of anti-gravity shoes. I'm terrified of heights. I'm gonna be flying over my house the instant I get the chance. That's too bad. Well, I'll support you then. Let's go. Normally you take proper course first, but you should be fine since we're both going on with Parrot Flight. You don't have to worry about anything. I head over to the terminal, leading Kuroshina-san all the while. Let's see. Good, coast is clear. I look around to check the flight path just in case. The no flight lamp is also off. Next up is the shoe check. Kuroshina-san.
Hi.
Put one foot forward a little.
Hi.
I check the shoes she puts forward. Okay, looks good. Show me the other one. When she does, I check the other one as well. All right, you're all good. Let's take a deep breath for me, Kuroshina-san. Inhale.
深呼吸ですか? はい.
And exhale. Now go! Okay, kind of head out.
行こうってどこへ?
Since she's not following the conversation, I take Kuroshina's hand, walk over to the edge of the terminal, and press the open button. After the shutters open, I turn on my own grav shoes. Take a small step forward to widen your stance.
はい.
Next, raise your heels.
こうですか?
Like where you go to like your tiptoes. Yes, I can do that. Yep, I'm gonna count to 3. Then we fly. Make sure to hold on my hand tight, okay? If you do, you can just leave everything to me and relax. Wait. How do I turn the shoes on?
飛ぶって、ここから飛ぶんですか?
Please, girl, we were past this detail 5 minutes ago. I'm sitting here, I'm on my toes, I'm ready to go. Right? Let's go. 1, 2. Or each knee.
そんなことしたらここ高い崖の上ですよ。
You're fine. 3 or San, fly. Whoosh. Yep. Aw, that's cute. Yep. Sorry. This is our thumbnail. Perfect. Ah, it's good. Man, I'm so jealous already. After a soft wind strokes our bodies as we soar through the air. The early summer air is a little warm, making it perfect for slow flight.
うわ、これ何ですか？ダメです。今は飛んでるけど落ちます。確実に落ちます。絶対に落ちます。
Kurashina-san keeps shouting out words laced with desperation. I can tell how anxious she is by the tightening of her grip. It's fine. There's no way we'll fall with our grav shoes on. Plus, the flight path's pretty calm.
そうなんですか？
Really, so just relax. Enjoy our stroll through the sky.
はい。
I can feel the pressure on my back letting up as Kurashina-san relaxes her body. Seems she's resigned herself to her fate. I can see the buildings, trees, and deep blue ocean stretched out beneath us. They all look so tiny from up here. Yeah. Alright, maybe this is a better one, where she's not crying. I'm guessing she's getting used to flying since she lets out a voice of awe as she looks around in wonder.
すごいです。綺麗です。さっきまで普通の大きさだった景色が一瞬でこう小さくなって。
I'm a simple man of simple pleasures. Man, being able to fly. It sounds so cheesy, but my goodness, wouldn't it be great? It'd be so cool. God. I'm already so jealous of the concept alone. I know, right? Most people react like this on their first flight.
この靴があったら本当にどこへでも一瞬で飛んでいけちゃいそうですね。
Alright, I gotta admit, her cuteness factor increases a millionfold when she smiles. That's an adorable smile. Upon hearing those words, I fly whenever you want. I slowly repeat the words, suggesting their meaning.
どうかしました？
I eagerly dashed forward, gliding through the air, advancing further and further. Back then, I had no doubts in my mind. I was sure there was no one who could reach the same heights as me. No, it's nothing. We'll be landing soon. Get ready.
はい。
With this, I can go anywhere. I can be the first to travel beyond the sky. I sincerely believed that. Yeah, I should avoid this from now on. I tried to make sure Kurashina-san couldn't hear me, as I quietly muttered those words. I looked up at the sky one last time to say farewell for good before I prepared to land. This is so depressing. This dude is already like basically delusional. Like, I understand he's upset. I'm sure there's a great reason why he is. But the fact that he's like not even like leisurely taking flight is insane. The blue sky extended infinitely, just as it did when I was a kid. Oh, if we're gonna do the intro here.
空をかけた重なるシルエット背中にすがる羽を広げて多分このままじゃダメだよねもっと向かい風なら余計頑張れちゃうのランデドリーム青い彼方の飛行機私
That is beautiful. My gosh, that's a gorgeous song. Whew, I could honestly listen to that one a lot. I might put that on my playlist actually, because it was just pretty. All right, take a look at this island, huh? To the west of Japan's mainland in the East China Sea is Shito City. Like, unfortunate spelling in Romaji. The Shito City is a town that's made up of 4 islands. Its population of 50,000 is enough to get it recognized as a city, but at a glance it looks more like a rural country village. Yeah, if it's 50,000 people, that's about the size of the city I grew up in, which definitely felt fairly like rural. And if it's spread out across multiple islands, that's gonna make it feel even more like barren and isolated. However, right now the area is like a completely different world from the rest of Japan. That's how special Shito City is. Following the discovery of anti-gravitons, special shoes that allowed an individual to fly, anti-graviton shoes, were invented. And those shoes, which let a person fly using only their body, brought about the dawn of a new age. Yeah, I freaking bet! That'd be amazing! The Airport Act applied many restrictions on private flight, but there are some cities where none of that applies. Special test zones, basically. And one of those cities just happens to be Shito City. It even said that the grav shoe usage is the highest in the country here. Yeah, you know what? I imagine property values must be insane there, but I almost think I'd be worth it to live somewhere where you could just fly like whenever. Like, that's so cool. People from all generations make use of them here, though young people probably use them the most. In fact, students tend to use them a lot. They're a common commuting option for all 4 islands to make up Shito City. Oh, could you imagine? Normally for islands, like places like this, they'd have to use ferries, and like they're on a schedule like a bus, but like slower. Being able to fly on your own power, I guess the big danger would be like if people accidentally fell or crashed in the water, like would they be able to like, they might have to fly with like an emergency flotation device just in case.
あと5秒。4、3、2、1。はい、そこまで。今日も遅刻者なし。よく頑張った。
Holy crap. You know what? He was right. She's freaking crazy. Holy cow. Whew. That's a... Oh, she's got the lab coat, the outfit, the hair. I mean... Does she have a route? I mean, whew. Sweet, we made it. I used the grav shoes assisted landing feature to touch down safely at the school's terminal. Come on, Kuroshina-san, you can let me go of my hand now. But I point that out to Kuroshina-san lets go of my hand hesitantly. Since she could have started weird rumors if she kept clinging on to me, I had previously asked her to switch to just holding my hand. But even that's enough to get students talking, so it's best to separate for now.
よかった。ジャスト8時半ですね。間に合いました。
I have a sneaking suspicion that Aoi's not gonna let us do that. Right, okay, let's hurry to the classroom. Wait, I forgot to ask where you need to go.
私は職員室へ来るように言われてます。
Are you gonna be able to
なのでここでお別れですね。
Are you gonna be able to find that? Like, this looks like a decently sized campus, and are you gonna be okay? Okay, see you around then.
ありがとうございました。
Hey, no problem. Kuroshina-san directs a bow at me, then runs off to the building where the faculty room is located. Now then, shouldn't waste time loitering. Need to head to the classroom before Miss Kagami spots me.
珍しいこともあるもんだな。マサヤが2人連れで、しかも手をつないで現れるなんて。
Uh-oh.
いや、それよりも空から来るなんてな。
Dang.
本当に珍しい。
How sad. He lives on an island where you can freely fly, and part of your school uniform are gravity boots. And he chooses not to fly. I mean, that says a lot about him as a character, but I hope... No, okay. I take that back. I don't hope, but unless somebody like literally died because of him flying, I'm gonna be hard-pressed to accept that he could just dismiss flying because he lost a bet or something. Oh, look at this. You know, CGs of a visual novel can tell you a lot about the creator and the budget and everything there. it is kind of nice to not have that empty classroom. Now, granted, we'll probably see this exact screen a lot, but still, it's cool to see. Ah, made it somehow. I plopped down on my seat and breathed a sigh of relief.
ねえ、さっき手をつないでたの誰？
I was helping her fly. She'd never done it before. It meant nothing. Just had to ask, huh? One of my classmates suddenly appeared before me and starts questioning me. Her name is Misaki Tobasawa. Since we sit close to each other and we're in the same class last year, we ended up chatting a lot. She's the only girl in my class who's on a casual speaking terms with me. Anyways, it's pretty common for her to start up random conversations, especially first thing in the morning. Gotta say though, I'm surprised she saw that. I mean, I tried to get away from Kurashina-san as fast as possible. Good morning, Misaki. You know, you really should at least greet me before grilling me.
おはよう。
Not a morning person, I take it, huh? I used to not be a morning person. I've had to force myself to change because, you know, work and being an adult. She waves her hand at me with an absent-minded look on her face. Obviously, Misaki has low blood pressure. Oh, samesies! I actually have anemia. I didn't really know it until I was in college. That's when I got diagnosed. But I only got diagnosed because I was trying to donate blood. And they do like a little test before you go. And they were like, no, your iron's too low. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, you need to go like eat some red meat or take some supplements or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I went to the doctor, got checked out, and they're like, oh yeah, you classify as having anemia. So I have to take iron supplements all the time, and even then, like, I can get lightheaded and dizzy really easily. I have to be not pretty careful. I've only passed out once. It was only one time. It was the most bizarre experience though, because I remember I'd heard a sound that I was like, and I panicked. And I went from like being asleep to being like up and like running. And then I go and I found like, I thought a crisis was happening, but it wasn't really happening. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. And then the next thing I know, I'm having a conversation with somebody, with my partner, my significant other. And she's just chatting with me and like asking me questions. She's like, "Are you okay? What's what's happened? Like, how are you feeling?" And I was like, "I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine." And she's like, "You're not fine. You just fell." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I realized at that point in the conversation, like, wait, I'm on the ground. Why am I on the ground? And I'd just been like, I'd gone from like rest to like active so fast that like my blood had not kept up with my head, and I just went just passed out in the middle of the hallway. I woke up like a few seconds later. So for me, like, I didn't know I passed out. Like, there's no like, I didn't even like see, I didn't have the vision tunnel, and I didn't like feel myself hit the ground. I just dropped like a sack and then like slowly came back to it. Like, she said it was terrifying. I was like, I'm fine. It's fine. So what was that about me holding hands with someone? So I tried to feign ignorance. But she ends up ignoring me. You literally just asked me about a girl who was holding my hand.
ああ、そうそう。手。そうだ。さっき窓からちらっと見えたから。
She's kind of cute. So far, she's very aloof, but I'm guessing that's a morning thing. I wonder if she, like, when she wakes up, how she behaves. You have some good eyes. I mean, most people don't just happen to catch a glimpse of things that are so far away.
で、何の話だっけ?
Are you serious?
あ、
Finally remember? I apparently am surrounded by airheads.
もうお腹が減ってきた。朝ごはん食べてきたばっかなのに。
Yeah, you're decently cute too, though. Man, I'm worried. They're really like character design so far is pretty freaking good. Like, they're just like, they have like so much character to them in just the way they're drawn. With how disjointed our conversation tends to be, I can't help but wonder if she's all right. I mean, low blood pressure only explains so much.
はいはい、全員早く席に着きな。
Teacher, please. Those shorts are going to kill somebody. Possibly me. My gosh.
やば。じゃあね、まさや。
See ya. Misaki totters away towards her desk.
おはようみんな。今日は爽やかな朝だな。
Okay. I mean, yes, every day is good. So apparently, I've got a favorite at this point. I mean, God, look at this, though. It's perfect. She's perfect. Dang. Like, she's got, like, the rocker vibe. She's got a lab coat. Everything. Like, whew. Oh, boy. She's great. Big fan.
さて、本日の連絡事項だが
I put my thoughts aside and focus on class. How could you do that? How? She's good at all kinds of sports and drop dead gorgeous, but also the scariest teacher at Kunahama Academy. Yeah, drop dead gorgeous. Agreed. This is my homeroom teacher, Aoi Kagami.
学年が新しくなってもう2週間だ。委員会や部活など新しいことを始める者はきちんと申告するように。
By the way, I owe a lot to Aoi-san. I mean, Miss Kagami. And my debt started racking up far before I even joined Kunahama Academy. Oh, was she the girl that was like teaching us to fly? Like she was a student then. In fact, it mostly comes from the help that she provided when I was younger. So yeah, I was obviously pretty shocked, but she ended up being my homeroom teacher.
君たちはもう2週間前から1年生じゃない。
Yeah, high school sophomores. That would make us like 16 years old probably.
新入生や困っている相手には率先して手を差し伸べられる人間であることを期待する。
Oh no, I forgot. Since this is a game that has been published on Steam, we're totally 18 years old. There's no doubt in our minds that every character in this is going to totally be 18. There's never any doubt of that whatsoever. Except the person who has a mountain of dirt on her students. We're close enough to make that kind of joke, though I can't do much more than whisper it since we're in class and all. If she catches me talking behind her back, she'll show no mercy.
では、ホームルームはこれで終わる。
That is the shortest homeroom ever. What? Looks like she didn't notice I was almost late this morning. A wave of relief washes over me, which allows me to finally relax.
そうだ、マサヤ。
Oh, crap. Aoi. This Kagami doesn't care that we're at school. She always calls me by my first name. What's up?
後で話がある。そうだな。少し長くなりそうだから、放課後で。
Yes. Thank you. I'm sure he's not happy with it, but yes. Did she hear me back there? Or what? Is this about me almost arriving late? Which one of those did she catch? It's the flying. I guarantee it was the flying.
マサヤ放課後だよ、放課後。
Well, you're nice and perky. Also, I'm guessing it's like, is that a switch for you for like when you get off school? That's cute. Yeah, I know.
やっと今日が始まるんだ。何しようか、何食べようか。無限の可能性が私を襲うよ。
Oh, you one of those girls that can eat whatever you want and just never get fat. Like, that's so mean. That's cheating. Right. Gotta say though, you're a totally different person once we're out of class. Not that that's anything new. Her extreme mood shifts are on a downright concerning level. Since she has low blood pressure in the morning, maybe it's spiked and she popped a vessel up there?
美咲の表現ぶりは確かにすごいよね。友達やっててちょっと不安になるレベルだもの。
Who are you? You've got the snaggletooth, which like I get the appeal, but I've never like for me I'm not a huge fan of the character design. I find it like I don't know, it gets annoying after a while. But I mean, otherwise like you look like you're fun. So you agree with me, huh?
思う。最初はこの子絶対午前と午後で双子が入れ替わってると思ったもん。
That'd be hilarious. Wouldn't a weird secret twin sister be such a great reveal? This girl is our class representative, Madoka Aoyagi. She's a friend of Misaki's, so I end up talking to her a lot. Though unlike Misaki, she's just a normal human being. Unlike this creature here.
人を心の病気みたいに言わないでよ。
Wait, did we call you that? Then quit acting like you are. Can't blame us for doubting when it looks like when it looks like you are.
いやー、私は自分に正直に生きてるだけだよ。
I mean, I'm glad you can take a positive spin on it. Oh, really? I'm so jealous.
わかるなー、それ。マサヤは朝より暗くない？
I'd say it's more that I'm a free spirit, just being true to myself.
乗るよ、そうだ。料金はうどんいっぱい。
You just glance off the fact that I just spit the same line right back at you, huh? Bye, Misaki. See you tomorrow.
あれ美咲、ひなたくんにご飯たかるの失敗しちゃったね。
Oh. Oh. Almost bumped into a girl as I leave my classroom. Sorry, you okay?
あ、いいえ、こちらこそ不注意ですみません。ってひなた先輩？
Okay. So you're the kohai, the younger student. Okay. Interesting. I like her eyes. Sorry about that, Arisaka.
ああ、いえいえ、そんな。
Mashiro! Huh. You remind me of another Mashiro. The two of us ended up apologizing to each other for a while. I'm guessing you came to get Misaki?
はい、もちろんです。
No idea why she's acting like this is only natural, but moving on. Want me to call Misaki?
ありがとうございます。
Hey, Misaki! I call out to Misaki, who's still in the classroom, tell her that Arisaka's waiting for her. After that, alright, I'm heading out.
ありがとうございました、ひなた先輩。気をつけてお帰りくださいね。
See ya. Alright, Janda. Is that Janda? Well, I'm not going home yet. Don't worry about it. See ya. I walk away, leaving behind a puzzled Arisaka. I have a date with the teacher.
美咲先輩。
Aww.
いやいや、そんなにくっついてこなくていいよ、ましろちゃん。って、あれ？まさやは？あちらへ。もう帰られました。
Mm-hmm.
下駄箱と反対方向に？
Oh, big secret.
まさか例の手つなぎちゃんか？
No. Stop spreading rumors. I head over to the faculty room, leaving Misaki and the other two behind. Excuse me. As I enter the faculty room, I see a hand waving me over from Aoi-san's desk in the back left corner. I feel a bit uneasy since I've got no clue what she wants, but I head over regardless.
寄り道しなかったみたいだな。いい心がけだ。
I'm gonna die. You need to stop this. You can't do this. Lab coat, those shorts, the one giant sock up to your thigh. Like, oh my gosh, this is a look. Oh my god. Sorry. I put a poll up in the Discord about like who people thought was gonna be my favorite character. I won't check it out until like the end, but I'm sorry that you've already all lost because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be our teacher here. Oh. She's in the middle of enjoying an after-work coffee, sitting there in her chair with her usual lax posture. Honestly, with the way she dresses, I'm unsure where to look. Her milky thighs enter my sight no matter what I do. I'm so unable to ignore them. I know, right? Funny thing is, she's actually an improvement. She used to wear a miniskirt until the other teachers talked her down. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die.
どうした先生のことじっと見つめて。ここで突然の告白でもするのか？
Don't tempt me. What do you want? She brought up something pretty awkward, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase.
可愛げがなくなったな、マサヤ。まあいい。話ってのはこのことだ。
Alright, what she got for us? She shows me a paper that she's prepared beforehand. On the left is a photo of the right and the right name and address. Beneath that, I can see the breakdown of academic accomplishments and a list of references. I recognize the name and face instantly. Why wouldn't I when they're still fresh in my memories? This is... Aoi-san speaks up with a wide grin on her face, and I sit there in silence.
当然覚えてるよな。倉科明日香。今日手続きをしたばかりの転校生だ。
How does she know I know her? Don't tell me. Wait, don't tell me you saw us together this morning. She returns a hearty nod before she replies.
ああ、仲良さそうに手をつないでるところまでな。
Dang it! No! Seriously? I didn't even realize she was watching us. Aoi-san isn't the kind of person who has any problem with students dating, but she's also famous for chewing out anyone who's fooling around. So what about Kurashina-san? I quickly change the topic, which makes her don an oddly motherly expression.
ちょっとな、頼みがあるんだ。
Oh boy, what is it? A favor?
別に難しいことじゃない。簡単なことだ。
I think I've got a guess. The title of this section was Teach Me How to Fly. I think that's what they're asking. She snickers, picking up her coffee mug and takes a sip out of it. I'm getting a deja vu here. Oh, I see. It's not just deja vu. She said those exact words to me in the distant past. So yeah, seems like I'll be your instructor. Again, my name is Masaya Hinata.
指導員って日向さんのことだったんですか？
Oh, great. What did they say? It's been about 10 minutes since our conversation with Aoi-san. After we finish talking, I'll head over to the courtyard and approach Kurashina-san, who's been waiting for me.
まさかの再会でしたね。
Yeah, I'm surprised too. You want me to teach her how to fly? Yep.
そう、マサヤなら最適だと思ってな。
I mean, yeah, I can see that. Well, that is a simple favor. She wants me to teach Kurashina-san, who is unfamiliar with grav shoes, how to fly. In urban cities, the use of grav shoes come with certain limitations. For example, you can only use them at certain times, and you need to get a license. But here, a simple application is more than enough. Dang, that sounds cool. As such, grav shoes are a dime a dozen here. Everyone knows how to use them, and they all rely on them too. However, shoes that allow you to fly and flight itself are probably confusing for outsiders. That's why authorities that hand out the grav shoes license put some precautions in place. Yeah, like, I'm curious how you're supposed to control these shoes, because normally, like, you have some kind of stick or control. So being able to only use it with your feet, that's gotta be an interesting system.
公認指導員として働くのは久しぶりだろうけど、マサヤならブランクなんて関係ないと思ってね。
Well, you're probably right, but
気が進まないのもわかるが、空から2人で来るぐらいのお気に入りなら問題もないだろう。
well, I was just being nice, Miss Kagami.
ああ、言いたいことはわかる。別にそんな仲を疑ってるわけじゃない。でも、嫌な相手じゃないの？
I agree, but well, sure I don't, but
じゃあ決まりだ。今日の放課後から早速始めるから、校庭まで行ってくれ。
I get the feeling she just hates seeing him not flying, so she's trying to get him to do it. What they established is the Limited Area Flight Instructor System. Basically, it's a system where certified individuals teach beginners how to fly. And I'm the one of those people. I earned my stripes a pretty long time ago, too.
びっくりしました。まさか日向さんが飛行の名人だったなんて私知りませんでした。
Yeah, about that, I get the feeling he's about to try and teach you how to fly without actually flying. Like him. Kurashina-san says with sparkling eyes. Wouldn't really say I'm an expert, more like I'm just really used to it, really. I answer curtly, which she replies.
そうなんですか？でも鏡先生は名人だっておっしゃってました。
Yeah, she says lots of things. I hope she didn't tell her anything unnecessary.
船島で生活するには暮らしの使い方をマスターするのがとても大切だと聞きました。
Well, wouldn't you know that though? Like, you applied to come to school here. Wouldn't you have some foundational understanding? She bows to me after saying that, then continues.
なので頑張って覚えますのでご指導よろしくお願いします。
Careful what you wish for. Sure, I'll do what I can. Man, she sure is motivated. Well, it's easier to teach someone with motivation than someone who has absolutely zero interest, so I can't complain. Anyway, it makes sense that Kurashina-san's here, but I spin around and heave a sigh of exaggerated fashion. What's your reason? I get Misaki, but how about you, Arasaka?
悪友がこれから悪さしようとしてるのにそれを止めないわけにはいかないじゃない。
Breaking Bad? Like, are you talking? Is this supposed to be like a reference to the show or what?
そうですよ。先輩だけで可愛い女の子独占とかそういうの良くないと思うんですよね。
Tell you what, Mashiro, I like you so far. You're pretty good. Listen, I'm only doing this because Miss Kagami asked me to. I'm telling the awful people who have come to interrupt us when...
日向さん、この方たちは？
friends feel strong. No, Kurashina-san asked me about them with a puzzled expression. Ignore them. They aren't really worth your time.
はじめまして。2年 C 組の飛沢美咲です。常にお腹を空かせたキュートな女子高生で、うどんとお菓子をくれたらどこでもついていきます。
Misaki, you can't say those kind of things. That's how you end up in strange vans that take you away and never get seen again.
はいはい、有坂真白です。1年 A 組です。 崎先輩の配下というかしもべというか、そんな感じで楽しくやってます。
Okay, I understand you're friends, but why are you like a stooge or like a servant? What's that about?
私は真白とかマとか次に呼んでください。でも
美
咲ちゃんも真白くだけは過去の黒い思い出が蘇るんで、ちょっと勘弁過去だと無意味にそれ以外は何でもいいですよ。
Stop!
ところで暮らしの先
Oh
輩
my
は
gosh, stop
と
it!
かやるんですか？
Like, now you've got her all,
顔 DS タブレットとかスマホ
look, now you've got her all confused. At least try not to speak over each other.
いけますよ。
Oh my gosh, that was nuts. That was like genuinely overwhelming. Okay, I know this might not be the best, but we're gonna go ahead and end here. I feel like it'll be fun to kind of get a good lesson. I can really dive into the shoes next time. I will say this, if you're new to the channel, I do shoot for about an hour's length for videos. I can go over, I can sometimes go under. I really don't try to do anything less than 45 minutes, but I have life. I have to like go get sleep. I have to like work a full-time job. I have to take care of like home stuff and, you know, all the other things that happen in life. This is like one of my most important things in my life, but it's ultimately a hobby, so I can't do too much. If you're new to this channel, I do fairly regular content. You should see about 4 videos a week come out. My schedule usually is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Currently got Higurashi on Monday. I've been kind of going through all the chapters, so that's a really good series to get jumped in on. Wednesday is going to be Aokana, so you can expect this every Wednesday. There's sometimes interruptions because life, but most of the time I'm consistent. Thursdays, I've been going through the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky series. So on Thursdays and Tuesdays, ostensibly, I try to do non-visual novel games because there's like great games I want to play, and I've fallen in love with the Trails series, so that's going to happen. I've been trading off between that and Yakuza recently, so I'm probably going to keep doing that. And then Fridays, right now, we just started Chaos Child. I'd done Chaos Head before that. I have a great backlog, so if you ever want to just like binge watch some of my content, like if you think you like what you see and you want to see some like full series, some of my probably favorite series, I've done Steins Gate, including like all the side ones that are available for it. I've done Muv-Luv, which is probably one of the greatest stories of all time. I did House of Fata Morgana, Karawa Sojo. I did one of my other favorites that might be one you haven't heard of is Seabed. If you've never played that one, highly, highly recommend it. One of the best stories I've read. And it's a much more budget-friendly one. It's I think it was done by like a team of like 3 or 4 people. But then I've also done other like stuff, like I'm doing a challenge playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 right now where I randomize all the decisions I make with the character. I'm in Act 3, so I just haven't been able to make progress on that lately because like life's been too crazy, but I'm hoping to have time this week, so hopefully we'll get another episode out before too long. Like I mentioned Yakuza, I did a challenge run through the Nitro Republic 1 and 2, which was really fun. I did the first game without using the Force or lightsabers and beat the whole game. Second one, I only used Force and lightsabers, which I'll tell you is really, really hard at the beginning of the game. Pretty fun one. There's a lot of good stuff. There's more too. Like I've been doing this stuff for a long time, so feel free to check it out. So now we're basically at the end. If you don't really care about like the rest of like the story of why we're playing Aokana, because some people are going to be a little bit like confused or wondering about that. Like I'll basically bye. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, especially the patrons and members. You're wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, if you're sticking around because you want to hear this story, here we go. So, what happened? There was a little controversy, if you recall, when we did the poll. The first poll had some pretty significant, like, evidence of fraud for the polls. People were, like, spoofing and botting it. So I took some measures that were supposed to prevent that from happening. And the second time, I thought it was going to work, but unfortunately we saw another spike that seemed really artificial, and that was for Aokana, which would have made it win, but I disqualified it because I discounted those like the spike of votes and kept the rest of it because we made the poll go a lot longer, and it barely lost. Even with the spike being removed, it was still really close. So I was like, all right, well, that's pretty done. We'll do Chaos Child. We started it. Like a week after I'd made that announcement, I was contacted by one of the members of the channel. They basically said, hey, I heard you talk about like why you chose not to do Aokana. I think there was a mistake. And he basically provided receipts where he showed me how when I was holding the poll, he'd posted at a fan site, like a fan Discord group for this game, and asked them to add votes so the game would get played on the channel. And I checked the dates, and I even like went to the group and verified that yeah, that post was legitimately put there, and it was put there at the right time when the poll had gone live, and right around the time that massive spike happened. So then I felt really guilty because I was like, oh, this should have won, but I've already started Chaos Child. I can't just rink that away. But I also I feel bad that I invalidated all the people who were excited for this game. And so I said, you know what, the Wednesday slot, because Friday's like the fan favorite Fridays, like where they vote for it. That I'm not gonna touch that. When I put a vote out there, like I'm gonna honor democracy as best I can. But on Wednesdays, it's always my day, and this is the day I try to like finish series I want to like continue playing that aren't gonna win any votes, to pick up a series that's been like expanded on since I last played it. Or smaller indie game titles like that most people might not pay much attention to, but I want to support small developers and small publishers and give them some spotlight time if I can. And I found some amazing gems doing that, so I don't want to stop doing that. So Wednesday's kind of like my filler day where I just kind of like whatever I'm feeling like doing when I finish, I kind of throw in there. I originally had a plan to do a kind of sequel story to a title we'd already covered. So we played like the main first game of something, and then there's like a kind of pseudo sequel after that. And I was gonna do that, and I kind of soft announced that, and that's still gonna be the plan. But because of the issue with like the whole voting thing, I've jumped this into the line and said, you know what, we're just gonna do both of the two winners from the poll because I feel awful of the way that all played out. It was just really crummy, and I hate that like I doubted what was happening because we'd had evidence of fraud before, you know, so it is what it is. So we're going to do this, and then after this one, I've already sealed in the fate that the next game we play, I know exactly what it is, and it'll be ready to go soon, so we're going to be doing that. Anyway, that's a long rant. I'm sorry. I hope it makes sense. If you have questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. I'll try and keep an eye out for it, and I can try and fill in more details. I don't want to like put all the receipts out because it's been a while, and it's also like it's neither here nor there really when it comes to push and shove. Just know that I did personally verify it. I did check to make sure I wasn't being tricked or lied to, and I was able to see very clearly the timestamps and the dates and everything. So it is what it is. I'm going to have fun. I know I'm going to love this game, and I hope that you enjoy watching it with me. It's going to be a good time, and I think it's going to make our Wednesdays very enjoyable from here on out. So hopefully you'll keep coming back for more. All right, this is the real goodbye. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you appreciate it. I'm looking forward to playing this for the rest of the Wednesdays, and hope you're coming around for all the other good content that's coming out too. So until the next video you're watching me up, see me in next. I'll see you there.